How one had ruined Pepsi's billion-dollar comeback in 2017. Pepsi was on the verge of something big. After years of slowly losing cultural dominance to the Coca-Cola company, Pepsi wasn't collapsing, but it wasn't leading either. Health trends were shifting away from sugary sodas. Young consumers were questioning big corporations, and brand loyalty wasn't what it used to be. So PepsiCo made a bold decision. If they couldn't just sell soda, they would sell meaning. They invested heavily in youth-focused marketing, social media campaigns, celebrity partnerships, cultural relevance. The strategy was clear: reconnect with a generation that valued authenticity, diversity, and social awareness. And in 2017, there was no bigger cultural currency than activism. Across the United States and around the world, protests filled the streets. Conversations about racial injustice, political division, and social reform dominated headlines. Brands began stepping into these conversations. Consumers didn't want companies to stay neutral anymore. They wanted them to stand for something. But stepping into emotional territory without fully understanding it can be dangerous. On April 4, 2017, Pepsi released a global commercial starring Kendall Jenner. The ad opens with a vibrant city scene. A diverse group of young people marches down the street in what appears to be a protest. The signs are vague. The atmosphere is upbeat. There's music, smiling faces, and a sense of unity. Cut to Kendall Jenner in the middle of a glamorous photo shoot nearby. She notices the protest. Inspired, she wipes off her lipstick, removes her blonde wig, and steps away from the cameras. She joins the crowd. As the march continues, tension builds. A line of police officers stands blocking the street. The protesters approach. The music softens. Kendall steps forward. She grabs a can of Pepsi, walks toward the officers, hands one of them the soda. The officer pauses, opens the can, takes a sip, and suddenly, the tension dissolves. The crowd cheers. Smiles break out. The moment feels triumphant. Conflict resolved by soda. That was the message. Pepsi equals unity. But within minutes of the ad going live, social media erupted. Critics accused Pepsi of trivializing real protests, of borrowing imagery from serious movements and turning it into an aesthetic, of reducing complex social issues into a feel-good commercial moment. One image spread rapidly online, a side-by-side comparison between the ad and a real-life photograph of a protester calmly facing police during a tense demonstration. The resemblance was striking, and the implication was clear. This wasn't just a fictional march. It felt inspired by real struggles, and real struggles weren't solved with a soft drink. The backlash grew by the hour. Twitter threads, news articles, late-night talk show jokes, marketing experts weighing in, activists speaking out. People weren't just annoyed, they were offended, because in 2017, protests were not abstract. They involved real fear, real tension, real risk. The idea that systemic injustice could be eased with a symbolic soda exchange felt dismissive, even disrespectful. The biggest problem wasn't the intention, it was the tone. Pepsi wanted to promote unity, but instead of showing genuine support or long-term commitment, the ad appeared to use protest imagery as a backdrop for branding. And in the age of social media, perception is everything. Less than 24 hours after its release, Pepsi pulled the ad. They issued a public apology, saying they missed the mark and did not intend to make light of serious issues. They also apologized to Kendall Jenner for putting her at the center of the controversy. Pulling a global campaign that quickly is rare. Think about what that means. Production costs, celebrity contracts, international media placements, digital distribution. Millions of dollars vanished overnight. But the financial loss wasn't the most damaging part. The real cost was credibility. Pepsi's entire comeback strategy relied on three pillars: cultural relevance, youth connection, and social engagement. This ad undermined all three. Instead of appearing culturally aware, Pepsi seemed opportunistic. Instead of connecting with young consumers, they alienated them. Instead of leading a meaningful conversation, they became the subject of criticism. The narrative around the brand shifted instantly. The campaign that was supposed to signal awareness became proof of misjudgment. And when a comeback depends on authenticity, losing trust is expensive. Now, to be clear, PepsiCo as a corporation didn't collapse. The company continued to perform strongly in snacks and beverages. Business moved forward, but culturally, the damage lingered. Years later, the ad is still referenced in marketing classes. It regularly appears on lists of the worst advertisements ever made. It became a case study, not for bold creativity, but for tone-deaf execution. The lesson was bigger than soda. It was about the limits of purpose marketing. There's a difference between supporting a movement and borrowing its imagery, between standing for something and staging it, between contributing to change and aestheticizing struggle. Consumers today are fast, connected, and vocal. They don't just evaluate a product, they evaluate intent, and when that intent feels misaligned, the backlash is immediate. What makes this story powerful isn't that Pepsi made a mistake. It's how quickly the mistake spread. Before social media, a controversial ad might have generated criticism over weeks. In 2017, it happened in hours. Brands no longer control the narrative once something is released into the world. The audience does. Pepsi tried to bottle a message of unity. They tried to align themselves with a cultural moment. They tried to show they understood a generation demanding change. Instead, they revealed how easy it is for corporations to misread emotion. And in doing so, they proved something important. Even billion-dollar comeback strategies can be derailed by a single miscalculation, because in the modern era, authenticity isn't optional. It's everything. And if a brand gets it wrong, the world will let them know.